What's going on, guys? BizzyDad here and back from vacation. Oh, I had such a great time, and hope you guys didn't miss me too much. Maybe there's a chance you didn't even notice I was gone. That's okay. I was gone away, vacation time. Just really had a great time. I flew in the red eye this morning, got in this morning, completely jet lagged, still have to unpack suitcases all over the place. But again, great time as always. I love to get away on vacation and jet set across the country like the millionaire playboy that I am. Of course, that is a joke, but wanted to just throw down a really quick video to say hi, say I'm back, and a couple of things. First, pay attention. Look at that number right there. You see that number right at the bottom? We have broken 500 subs, and I'm really excited about that. I did not completely ignore that fact or miss it. I'm putting something together for my subscribers as we speak. So stay tuned for that. And thank you to everyone. Of course, I'll make an official video for it, but just wanted to touch base on that really quick. And also, got some things coming up this weekend and next week that I'm excited about, and we'll be addressing that in the future. So just more surprises and more things in the works. So definitely keep liking and sharing and subscribing and just staying tuned. But today I just wanted to discuss really quick the meta and why it's, to me, important to the game, and also why I don't really follow it. And don't get me wrong, there might be a misconception that I'm just completely against meta and I don't want anything to do with that. And that is not true at all. I'm not anti-meta. I'm not against the meta. I just don't spend a lot of time focusing on it for a few reasons. Number one, I am not a ultra competitive player. I'm not super competitive about this game. So when it comes to those top tier competitive decks, there are a lot of places to go here on YouTube, on the internet, that will discuss the top tier, that will discuss the meta. And you will find people way more in tune with the top tier in the meta than I am, that will be able to talk about it better than me, give better insight, give better advice when it comes to that. So I'm not against it. I just know that I might not be the best person to get information from. I fully accept that, and that's okay. I'm definitely more into the casual and the fun aspect of the game, as you know by now if you're a subscriber. And if you're not a subscriber, I just told you. And there you have it. However, the meta does have a really important place in this game because it drives the game for everyone, if you think about it. These top decks that do really well when they're run by these top players eventually trickle down to the entire player base because they see these deck lists and they see what performs well, and then they try to mimic it, whether they copy it card for card, which everybody sees, you see it at your local, or they take the core aspect of a deck and then try their best to kind of add their own twist to it, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so successfully, and then they have to default to the actual, main net decking and just copying it card for card. So that's a story for a completely different video. But the reason why I have Feithsing here is because when it comes to the meta and the top tier decks, I think that the Turbo Feithsing deck is one of the toughest to deal with. Now, I'm sure if you've played in any sort of tournament, whether it be at your local or ARG or any sort of higher level, you have definitely run into Feithsing, who is really strong, and the way they'll build decks around her could really just flood the field and just overpower you so quick. I've been the victim of it, but I've also been able to stop it. And I think that one good sign of a healthy evolving meta is that decks can be countered and stopped or answered. Now, it might take a little bit, but eventually those answers do come. Feithsing is here because I think that it is probably the most difficult to deal with, in my opinion, at the moment. I know that everyone is going nuts about Red Green Prisia, and that's probably just meta of the week because she's still relatively new in Returning Dragon Emperor, and a lot of people run her because she does so well. Look at the top 8 lists and of all these AGPs. You are going to see 50% or more red-green Pressia, and I'm sure we'll continue to see her in the foreseeable future. However, Feithsing deck is definitely on borrowed time. And if you take a look at some of the cards that really make the Feithsing deck work, you see Guinevere, Domberly, and Alice's Castling. Of course, the combo of Drake and Gwyber. These are the cards that really just come in and take care of the game. If you notice, these are all Alice Cluster cards. And Alice Cluster is going to eventually rotate out, which means once all these cards go, this deck is pretty much dead. I know that they will probably try to find other ways and other Lapis Cluster only cards to fit in and make new combos with, but it definitely will not be as strong because you can't use a Domberly and you can't use the discounts for Drake and Gwyber to come in and just flood the game, flood the field and end the game really quick. So that leads me to think that cards, decks like Feithsing, the Val 2.0, that's going to be shifting out too. You're going to see a lot of what is currently running strong is going to shift out and eventually become dead. Feithsing is the one that sticks out in my head because she's a Lapis Cluster ruler. So while she'll still be around in the New Frontier format come September, her deck that is running wild will be completely stripped out, and we'll have to see what comes up with Feithsing in the future. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's going to force people to come up with new things and new ideas, hopefully for some new rulers to have new decks and new combos become meta or become top tier in the future. And again, I don't really touch on these decks much because there are just other places to do it. I would much rather focus on all the cards in a set rather than just the 10 to 15% that get focused on when you're talking about top tier and meta decks. And again, I'll state the fact that that's not necessarily a bad thing because when you're talking about the top competition, when you're talking about big events and qualifying for regionals and world championships, you're going to need these. You're going to need the meta because that's what's going to be there. So I think that there's an interesting dynamic in the meta being prevalent because you get to see it and then you get to either build it and race cards so you can get there first, or you can try to build and combat it and answer it. So the meta constantly evolves and then the game constantly evolves. But again, that's that higher competition. And I just tend to stay away from it because I would much rather come up with fun and unique stuff that might not necessarily do well in a top competitive atmosphere. But for the casual players and the fun players and the new players, I think I'm able to relate to them more. And I think it's more of a fun channel and just more fun aspect like that. But I want to know what you think about the meta. Do you think that it's good to have such a limited number of rulers and decks that stay at the top, albeit for a small amount of time, but the rest of the player base just then takes it and copies it, and that's what runs wild all over the place? Would you not want to see these top lists posted, and then maybe it forces people to be more creative on their own instead of just going half brain dead and just copying these lists card for card? Let me know what you think with the comment below. It's just a quick video. I just want to say hi. I'm back. I missed you guys, but I had to run out and have some fun and reset, recharge on my own. So keep an eye out for more videos. Like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. That's all for today. Thanks for a few minutes. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.